Hello everyone, welcome back to Manufactoria 2022. Last episode we got to this new section, Artificial Sentience, where we now have green dots. And in the original Manufactoria you eventually get yellow dots as well. I haven't seen those yet, so I guess minor spoiler, but it's a programming game. Anyway. I kind of thought that this square would show up after doing either one of these levels, but it looks like you have to do both of them. So we will do rain install since it's the only level we can. Let's see. All of our robots until now had existed in a purely functional state. All movement, no reason. Using positronic brains, I could create higher thought, happiness, sadness, all the emotions of a real person, controlled completely by me. Okay. Okay, so this one has the green rider. Let's see. Replace robots that have blue with green and red with yellow. Okay. So... Okay, so the immediate thing is we are replacing blue with green and red with yellow. Okay, cool. I was getting kind of confused there. I am colorblind a little bit. So these like faded versions, I can't tell the difference between the green and the yellow, but I can see it here, and I notice they have little dots for which part of it, which is very colorblind friendly. So what I'm thinking is this replaces everything, and then we get to the last one and just drop it in, and reds become yellows, blue become green, we get back to the start, and yeah, I think that should work. Awesome, that was simple. These early prototype robots had fairly limited ability to emote. For testing purposes, I have to give them more ability soon, hook up their emotions to their motor functions, let them jump for joy and wail in despair. The factory is about to become a very exciting place. Yeah, I get a feeling these robots are just going to take over the world. But let's see. No robots enjoyed pattern stories arcs. Empirically, they work 29% faster when exposed to such stimuli. What better a story than this? Start sad and happy. So, modify robots' tapes by inserting a green at the start and a yellow at the end. Then produce them. Okay, so we can only write to the end. So, we'll need a green and a yellow. I think we're going to need that whole cycler again. Oh. And then this will move. This will just have green and yellow at the start. So it's probably just easier to do the yellow after. And then, is this it? Let's do a test. So, so we add a green, that's at the back. We then are cycling through everything. Yeah, that just seems to work. Add a green at the back, rotate through everything so that the green is in the front, and then add a yellow on the back. Cool. After the end of today's test, the final robot printed a non-standard diagnostic message. Thank you. It was odd. I thought I hadn't uploaded the language synthesis modules to them yet. No use overthinking it. It was time to start putting these beauties on the market. yeah, definitely gonna have killer robots. Or maybe not killer robots, but non-expected behavior, we'll say. So I think if I just do this, it's the exact same, just a little bit more compact. Nice. So, looks like I could move on to the hub, but I'm gonna keep finishing out the challenge levels as I go, I think. Yeah. After the initial misfires, I learned that sadness could be a powerful motivator. A robot that saw sorrow in its future would do almost anything to avoid it. An extra work cycle before every rest cycle? Why not? Okay. Ends with just one green. And add a red before every blue and remove the green, then produce. Okay, so every blue becomes a red and a blue. So we start a red and blue. The reds are just going to be reds. The blues have to be a red and a blue. And then when we get to the green, we'll know we're done. But we'll need to consume the green. And then drop it in. So I'll do a test to demonstrate. So, what was it? Red, red. I'll do red, blue, blue, red, green. So we have the two blues that get replaced by a red and a blue each. So, yep, red just becomes red, blue becomes a red and a blue. We keep going. And then once we get to the end, we need to delete the green, and we're good. Awesome. Sometimes I found myself feeling guilty about the way I treated these machines. Ridiculous, just because they were shaped like people, and gestured like people, and shed tiny artificial tears like people. Actually, the robo-tear ducts may have been a bit much. Yeah, I mean, you get rid of the tears and clearly they can't be sad, you know? Alright, was that not as fast as I could do it? Really? Seems super fast. I'm kind of shocked that there's another one, like, because you have to write a red and a blue. And maybe you could do... No, I don't know. I'm not going to worry too much about the challenges right now. So, I'll just move on, but I'm surprised there's something clever I'm missing. If I left the robots running long enough, even with a good balance of happiness and sorrow, they'd eventually start acting quite strangely. Asking questions, disobeying orders, was unacceptable. I needed a new assembly line, one that would strip away all emotion from these malfunctioning machines. So we make emotional robots, and then make unemotional robots. Okay, so we just get rid of the yellow and greens. Let's see. So, green, and it ends with green. Okay, so green is the end symbol. That makes it easy. So, we'll do the writers again. if we see a yellow, we can just get rid of it, but we have to go back to the start in case there are any more reds and blues. And then green we can just drop to the finish. Yeah. So the test can be something like this. So if it's a yellow, it passes through, it just deletes it. And then for reds and blues, we move them to the back. And then the green is at the end, and we drop it in the receptacle. Oops. Nice. The fixed robots were in motion once again, purged of inconvenient emotions and thoughtlessly performing their programmed action. It was reassuring. No matter how smart I made these things, they'd still be under my total control, and that would never ever change. Yeah, I mean, who would suggest that there would be a robot uprising or something? I don't know, certainly not I. Okay. Go to the hub. Now that I built truly intelligent robots, I took one to be my personal assistant. I named it E/7N, or Evan, to its friends. I like to think that we could be friends. It was time to start selling the world's first really smart robots. I was sure they'd be thinking rings around us, all of us, in no time. So first of all, wow, there's a lot more levels here. I have a feeling this is going to get very complex. And two, like, my best friend is named Evan, so this is pretty funny. Yeah, okay. Just work through them one at a time. Evan pointed out that I spent an awful lot of time trying different coffee machines and complaining about the quality of their products. For one better morning pick-me-up, why not try a smarter kind of coffee machine? Strip all the leading blues and then produce. Okay, so we'll need to go until there's a red. Once I read the red, I'll need to cycle back around. So this seems like a good use for the green writer. So we mark the end. For the blues, we just strip everything. For the reds, we need to replace them at the end. No, strip all the leading reds. So after this point, we need to go to another one that will replace all of them. And then once we get to a green, we need to delete it and drop it in the receptacle. It's unclear to me if there's definitely going to be leading blues. Like, can something land there? But anyway, can there be an empty one is my question. So, yes, there can be an empty one. Okay, well, before I handle that, so if we have like blue, if we have like two blues, then a red and a blue and a red. So we want to get rid of the two leading blues. So we write a green to mark where the back of the line is. We delete the leading blues, and then we start moving stuff from the start of the line. So the red was at the start, and we write it to move it to the back again. And we do this until we see the green, which lets us know that we've completed everything. And we delete that green and hand it off. So the only thing we really need to do here is get rid of that green. So if I do this, I think this should just run. My mean bean machines quickly master the grind, the dose, and the tamp. Perhaps a little too well. After one sip, I realized I needed to have a talk with Evan about when optimization algorithms were appropriate, when they weren't, and why I might not want my morning cuppa to pack enough caffeine to kill an elephant. You know, what's the goal of coffee? Did you describe it well enough? Did Evan just do what you told him to do? Oh. Alright. I come up with a fantastic new slogan for food delivery bots. The only thing better than friendship is food ship. Get food shipped to your door today. Judging by how much my stomach was rumbling when I wrote it, I figured we had $1 billion business waiting. All I had to do was actually build the robots. What? I'm turning everything into yellows? Convert each group of reds or blues into yellow before producing. Interesting. I guess the idea is, let's say we start with a red. Then I'll want to delete that. This group is going to be represented as a yellow. And then I guess I'll want to delete any additional reds I have. And then essentially this will be the blue section. So I'll need to hook up this blue to whatever I do here, which I think... So I should be able to just copy and paste that, flip it. I want to keep the yellows. I think I just want to swap the red and the blue. Okay, so then I just need to get this red here and this blue here. So let's just give myself a little bit more space. And then, yeah, I'm not going to worry too much about the efficiency here. Alright, so we'll just put the blues up here. And we want the reds to here, which means I'm going to need one of these pipe things. And then how will I know I'm done? Well, I probably just need to add a green to this as a marker for when I'm done. And then I think we can finish at any of these. So let's run a test. So we have the blue, blue, red, red. Add a green to show the end. And now we're doing on blues, so we have a group with yellows. Keep doing the blues. Then we have another red. We go to the red side. That adds a yellow because we know we're doing reds. And then we do the same on the blue side. Oh, and at the end I need to, okay, I'm going to need to strip out the green. I should get rid of those greens. Will it ever reach here? It probably will. Well, let's just check. Yeah, there is an empty one. Alright. to get the editor to get rid of that green. Nice. The food ship bots delivered me all the food I ordered. Unfortunately, I was so hungry that I'd ordered far too much. Evan was very sympathetic. It was the same way when it linked into the global bot network, it said. There was so much data flowing in from our robots everywhere, all sharing knowledge, that it could be overwhelming. Yeah, you know, just super intelligent robots all sharing knowledge. Sounds like they're getting really efficient. That's awesome. They'll make the best coffee in no time. I've always wanted to have a little garden to put around in, but hadn't had the time in years. There was just always more work to do. Surely there were many people like me looking for a little piece of nature, tended by a pair of little metal hands. If any blues are on the tape, move the first one to the end before producing. Okay. Seems like marking the end is probably nice. And then we can have reds. We'll just feed it. Blue needs to go to the back, which is kind of awkward because it's going to be behind the green. I think that's okay. So we'll read the green and then at the front, and then we'll probably just have to cycle through the blue again because it will be at the front, so we'll move it to the back at the very end. No, we just don't write it right now. Yeah, we've seen a blue. So we go continue until we get to the end. We know that this will be green. This will be green, but then we'll need to add the blue we deleted, because that's supposed to go at the end. And then the only thing left is if we see the green here and there are no blues, then we don't need to add a blue, we just need to delete the green and drop it in here. Alright, so the idea is we'll say red, blue, red, red, blue. So we just want to move this first blue to the back. So we start with a green so that we know where the end of the line is. Cycle through reds until we see a blue. We've deleted this one blue because we want to move it to the back, but we're going to wait to do that. We cycle through everything until we see the end of the line, and then we add a blue that we deleted before, and we're good. And the other case is if we don't have any blues, then we mark the green, cycle through the reds, realize that we finished without seeing any blues, so we just need to delete the green, and we should be good. Okay. The garden bots worked great, but sometimes alongside the potatoes and peppers and parsnip, they planned coins, toys, and other robots. Evan claimed that made perfect sense. How else could they know for sure what would grow? Okay. Well, I'm tearing through these. But I feel like they might just be like sort of tutorials teaching you the basics of the greens at the moment, because like there's a lot here, so I expect it will get much more difficult. Babysitter. The world is dangerous. Your child should be in safe hands when you're not around. What's safer, a distractible human or a perfect, ever-mindful machine? Okay, this one is just swap all the reds and the blues. That seems simple enough. If we just use our same trick, we use a green to mark the end. We take our writers and we say if we have a blue, change it to a red, and if we have a red, change it to a blue. Get to the finish, delete the green red, and drop it in. So to test, we use green to mark the end, change red to blue, change blue to red, get to the finish, delete the green, and we're good. So let's run everything. Excellent. The baby Sauter bots were definitely mindful, which made it quite surprising that they were returning babies to the wrong parents. Everyone claimed that babies were interchangeable except for minor differences in pigment and vocal pitch. I wasn't quite sold. You know? They're pretty close. I mean, a baby's a baby, so you gave them a baby, you got one back. What more can you really ask for? Contactor. Amy tried to put in contact lenses half blind and half asleep. Evan kindly volunteered to do it for me. I immediately realized this was a service people would pay for. Yes, getting poked in the eye by robots. Let's see. Remove any red that are right before a blue, then produce. Interesting. So I think, as always, we're going to need to mark where the end is. And then if I have a red, that's fine. Really, this is saying delete the first red in a group? No, because it differs if it's the first or last. But I mean, you could always write on to the end. So what I'm saying is, like, it says delete any reds that are right before a blue. So like this would be deleted. But if we didn't have this blue dot here, we wouldn't delete this red. However, I'm thinking we can just delete the first red in every group. And if it turns out that that group is actually the end and we need to write it back on, we can just do it at the end. And that's probably simpler than trying to like find a blue. So let's see, if we did if we had this, so we go until we see the end of the red group, and if it's a blue, we should come back in. We're going to need to replace that blue. If this part's a blue, we can just do this again. If we do here, and we've seen a bunch of reds, but we didn't get a final one, we're going to want to replace that red we deleted. And we're also going to want to delete the green. Right? Yeah, we're going to want to delete the green. And then that should be good there. And then if we come through here, I think we just have an extra green. And can drop it in here. let's test this out. So if we have 2 reds and a blue, we want to delete that last red. So we mark the end. And that was a little quick. We had 2 reds and a blue. We deleted a red. That's fine. We've still deleted a red. And then we moved the blue to the back. So technically we deleted the first red, but it doesn't matter. We just deleted 1 red from that group because the reds are all interchangeable. And then we continue around. We go through and the green gets deleted. Alternatively, we can have a similar test with a red at the end, which will start off the same, but then we still have a red to deal with. So we see the red, we're done. The red didn't have a blue after it. We replace that red because we shouldn't have gotten rid of it, and then we read the green. Well, I think this should be everything. Awesome. Success. No matter what I did, the contact lens robots wouldn't move. I programmed them to be cautious, but when I told them to not even harm a fly, they took it a bit too seriously. Yes, that is Asimov's laws of robotics, right? Obey. First, don't harm humans. Second, obey orders from humans. Third, protect yourself, I think, are the 3 rules. Okay, cool. Well, we got through a lot of small levels today and got some introduction to the green as a marker for the end of lines, and used a little bit of yellow, I believe, as well. I think this was introducing you to how to mark the end and use that as a cycle. We've done some similar ones previously in this game where I was trying to use multiple blues to mark the end. So this has simplified that, and I think the game is probably going to get a lot more complicated if we end up mixing together reds and blues and greens and yellows. But yeah, good progress for today. Thanks everyone. Bye.